Dandavats and greetings, dear devotees and friends and well-wishers and innocent observers. Here we are, just continuing with another snippet of the wonderful introduction to the upcoming book, Canto to the Divine Saviour, Nitaichand, which is book 2 in the trilogy of books that Mahayogi Maharaj is currently producing with the friends of SOS Press. So here we go, continuing on from part 1, here is part 2. The old Vaishnav remembered that while the old Shah had encouraged writing in Bengali and had even published a few books, the new Shah was quite different. He ridiculed the tolerance of his father and had imposed strict Sharia law. He ordered the destruction of many Vaishnava texts and outlawed the community of Sri Chaitanya's followers, leaving only some formal temple worship that could be controlled through taxation. The water rippled. The current was stronger here. The boat rocked a bit and began swaying to and fro as the boy plied through the waters. They were reaching the shore, where the water was shallow and brown with mud. "Tell me a story, old man," said the boy. "It's a long way to where you're going. It's at least 2 days by boat, if the current is right." "I'm going that way myself, but if you tell me a story, I'll take you for free." The boy's words shook the old Vaishnava out of his reverie. He looked at the boy. "Well, my son, what would you like to hear?" "You're old," said the boy. "What's your story? Who are you, and what were you before? And what's in that bag you're carrying?" The boy pointed to the burlap bag that the old man clutched to his chest. "Oh, that's a long story, son." "Well," said the boy, "if it's a good story, I'll take you for free. Tell me about the old days around here. They say there were tigers." They moved with the current up the shady side of the river. The sun was hot, but the tamarind trees gave a cool shade. Monkeys played in the trees, watching the dugout glide by. "I am called Brindavan Das. I serve the saints of Brindavan. My tale is not very interesting to tell. My mother's name was Narayani. She was a blessed saint. Her father was brother to Srivas Thakur himself." "Srivas Thakur? Wasn't he one of the friends of Prabhu Nityananda?" "Himself." "And your father?" asked the boy. "Oh, that was a long time ago, son. His story has faded like the wind on the Ganga." "But you are carrying something. What's in the bag?" The boy laughed, showing perfect white teeth. "Is it gold?" "I'm carrying a treasure, but it isn't gold," laughed the old man. "What then?" "It's a book," he said solemnly. The current had carried them through a bamboo grove, out of sight of the Shah's men. The mosque faded into the background on the other side of the river. They glided through a shady part where trees overhanging the water gave them shade. A cool breeze blew. "And what is this book, sir? I am poor and uneducated. My only chance for learning is to hear from saints like yourself." The old man smiled. "The treasure of the Chaitanya Bhagavat." "Okay," said the man, "let me show you," he said, as he untied the twine that held the burlap sack. Reaching inside with care, he withdrew a carved box. Opening the lid of the box, he showed the boy. There was a stack of dried palm leaves as thin as paper. Each leaf was inscribed with tiny pinpricks tattooed with black ink. There must have been 100 leaves in the box. The bag held more than a dozen boxes. "Is that a book, sir?" asked the boy, who had never seen such a device. "How does it work?" The old Vaishnava said, "It is written on palm leaves. This book is the story of God himself, who appeared here in Bengal as Sri Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya is none other than Krishna himself. The book also tells the life of Nityananda Prabhu, who is the first expansion of Krishna as his brother, Balaram. They lived and taught divine love, Krishna Prem, here in Gaudadesh, in the time of Srivas Thakur, my mother's uncle." A group of cranes wandered in the sand of the riverbank, looking very much like a school of scholars. The boy put his back into his work. The long pole pushed off the bottom. They were coming into the cross current of the Bhagirathi, the bigger river that intersected the Jalangi. Here the water was a darker green. "I have heard some stories about these times. Then it's true?" asked the boy. "God did walk the earth here in Gaudadesh. How did you come by these books? Are you a seller of books, perhaps?" "The history of Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda was recorded in different places by their followers," said the old man. "The best of these were the personal journals kept by Murari Gupta, a friend of my mother's uncle. The knowledge was passed down within an intimate circle for a generation. But when the number of followers expanded, many devotees wanted to record the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya more formally. They had heard that I was a poet and asked me to write it all down in an organised way. So I was asked to write about Nityananda and Sri Chaitanya. I prayed for their inspiration and did my best, working with scribes. This is their story, as best I could set it down." "Is it in Sanskrit, sir? I can't read, but there's a pandit in my village who can read and write." "I was asked to write this in our own language, son, Bengali." "But aren't all the great books in Sanskrit? My brother goes to school." The pandit told him so. And that, my friends, is another snippet. I hope you like it. I hope you're getting into it. We're only at the beginning stages, and as you can see, it's just wonderful. All right. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you are getting the gist of things, and more to come. All glories to Sri Nitaichand, all glories to Srila Gurudev, and all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Ki Jai. Vanchakalpas.